Hey guys, finally did it. I'm out for my solo camp in the Polish Lavvu. I'm here with my puppy Izzy. She's down there on the ground. I'm currently out looking for a spot to set up. Once I find a spot to set up, I'll go through why exactly I chose there, the gear, some of the gear that I brought. And yeah, it's going to be a hot tent, so I'm kind of excited. First time I get to try it. So once I find something that looks like a good spot to set up, I'll catch back with you. Alright guys, so I'm back. Walked in here a little ways farther. Took a look around, and this is the spot I'm going to decide on for my camp here. You can see, nice little clean area here, but it's nice and thick back in behind. There's nothing up high in terms of deadfall or anything like that could fall on me in the night. And it doesn't just go for the immediate spot too. When you look around, it's all young growth. There's nothing that's even potentially close to dangerous here. I've also, on the way in here, seen a few spots with birch bark and small tinder, easy to get a fire going. There's a couple dead standing. Something that's a little bit different here than other videos you're probably used to is that our primary woods where I'm located here are spruce, pine, aspen. I'll primarily be burning aspen just to reduce the volume of sparks and potential damage to my gear. But yeah, I'm going to get going here now, get a start on cleaning out the snow and getting camp set up. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had a lot of camera difficulty this morning with the cool weather we were having here. All the batteries were froze up and it really made any sort of attempts at videos pretty difficult. Even now I've already went down 1 bar on my battery, but I got the Lavvu set up. Stove's in it. You can see it's rolling away there. I got an extra line running up to this tree here just to keep the canvas pulled good and far away from the stovepipe on the little tent heater there, which is a homemade stove out of an ammo can that I made specifically for the Lavvu. We'll go into detail about that a bit later. A few other things that you guys had missed while I was gone is I made this hanging pot system here. You can see the pot suspended off the end of it, and this particular type of system is made to pivot on the tree. You can see the Y sticks there and there, and all they do is allow the whole system to swing around on a pivot. It's a very simple one to design. This one I made the bell stick with 3 different height settings. You can see it there, there, and there, and that just allows you to be able to raise and lower your pot. Give you a quick demonstration here. I have it propped up on this little stick, just holding it back when I want to use it. Just lift it off over it and walk it over to the fire, and that's all there is to it. Now you can simmer away, cook, whatever works for you. It's easy to grab, rotate, requires no effort. And lower your pots down depending on how good your fire's going or how quick you want it to cook. It's a pretty simple system, works well. It's nice to be able to move everything out of the way when you're making your fires, tending to it, or when you're not cooking and it's just out of the way where you don't need to worry about it. Yeah, so another different way of doing things. There's always a different way, a better way. Maybe you might not like this one, but something to consider and try. Maybe next time you're out on a camp, you'll want to give it a whirl and see how it goes for you. Pot goes on, pot goes off. Pot goes on, pot goes off. Pot goes on, off. Alright, I'm just messing around. You get the idea how she works anyways. Sorry again guys about missing so much footage this morning. After the walk in here, everything pretty well froze, and that was the end of that. The cameras wouldn't work, and I had a tough time getting anything going with that, so I decided to just go ahead, set up camp, get the stove going in there so I could warm everything up and get back to getting some footage for everybody. So it took a little bit of time, a lot more time than I would have liked, but I couldn't really afford to stand still and not do anything either. So as the equipment was warming up and the batteries were thawing out, I went ahead and made the pot hanging system, collected some firewood, and yeah, planned out the rest of the day. By that time the cameras worked and I'm back with you guys here. So thanks for the patience. I apologize again. We'll go over this stuff in a different video, how to actually construct the pot hanging system, where to find this stuff. Other than that, it's nothing any different than you guys have seen in 8,000 different videos. I mean, lighting fire is lighting fire. I use some fat wood and you know, setting up a tent. There's nothing fancy to that. So you didn't miss a whole bunch, but I do apologize anyways that the equipment wasn't working, and we'll try to be a little prepared for that next time. Just went out for a little stroll here, check things out, take a look around, see what I could find in the way of teas, and maybe hope to find some Labrador tea leaves, and I stumbled upon some plantain. And even though it's winter, this is still a very useful plant. The seeds, like you see here, are very good if you have an upset stomach. For our lady viewers there, if it's that time of the month, they also help ease cramps. There's been a few studies that say they can help with weight loss. A lot of people also use it when they're dry like this. You can shell them out and use them as a substitute in flour. But it's a very, very good plant, very medicinal plant, all year round. I mean, in wintertime, it greatly reduces what the plant can do, but still a very, very, very good plant, and definitely one you'll want to know about. Take a look on the internet, plantain. You'll look it up and you'll be surprised at the uses it has. Here we have the Labrador tea that I went out looking for earlier. It's a plant that grows pretty well anywhere in Canada. People have been drinking tea made from Labrador tea leaves for a very, very long time. They're very, very easy to identify. The leaves are 2 to 5 centimeters long. They've got an orange-brown kind of fuzz underneath them. Very aromatic. Have a great smell to it, a great taste. Next time you're out in the bush, pick a few and give them a try. Tea's done now. The leaves are in there, good and simmered, nice and warm yet. Yeah, best kind. Went out the other day for a bit of a ice fishing trip and ended up getting a couple jackfish, so I decided I'd bring one of them out here. I just scaled it quickly and pulled the guts out, stabbed a few sticks through her and threw her over the fire. So should be a good meal. We'll let her cook on there for a bit, and and get some spuds going here, and it should be a fantastic night. Well, supper's coming along nicely here. The fish is almost done, and the potatoes have been boiling away for some time, so I'm gonna get to eating here right quick, but I just thought I'd give you guys a quick peek at what everything looks like here beforehand. The fire in the Lavvu has been burning all day. It's the first time I've used it, so I wanted to be out good and early, have a fire going all day, make sure the stove handled everything okay. It's a stove that I made myself too, so it was never tested. I did a burn-in at home without it being in the Lavvu or anything, but this will be the first time that I've tried it in the tent, or any heater in that tent for that matter. So I'm very happy with the way today went. It would have been nice to not have so many camera issues early on and stuff, but I mean, for the first time doing this too, I can't expect too much out of it, or set my hopes too high. Things like this take time. The people who have been doing it for a long time, the guys that are great at it, like Joe Robinette, I mean, absolutely fantastic videos, but nobody really understands the effort that he puts into it either. I mean, them are rock star videos. It requires a lot of work, a lot of backtracking, a lot of setting up and doing things twice, and it just, you got to give credit. I apologize for the videos not being quite up to snuff or anything. I'm sure they'll get better, but like I said, it's first time doing it, so I'm enjoying myself, and that's really all that matters. I mean, that's why we get into this kind of stuff. It was never done to get subscribers or to be popular or anything like that. Just more to share what I'm doing out here. I get a lot of questions, a lot of people asking. It's a great way to show and maybe help spread some skills around. Anyways, I'm going to get to supper here, so I'll check back in with you guys a little later. Alright, well, supper's all done up. It was absolutely fantastic. The jackfish was great, and potatoes couldn't be better, so all fed, got everything put away for the night. I'm here in the Lavvu right now. I just wanted to touch base and maybe go over some plans for tomorrow. I felt today maybe a little bit that I could have been a lot more organized with what I was doing, maybe have some explanations and stuff. It kind of threw me off and nothing would work this morning. That I was really hoping for a better start, but I've been using my phone a lot today, trying to save what's left of the camera battery life. Tomorrow I'd like to get a squirrel hunt in maybe, as I got to get to procuring some food now, as I just brought the fish and a couple packs of dehydrated chili for food, so and the potatoes. So tomorrow I'd like to, go out on a hunt, see if I can't get a couple squirrels, maybe make a stew or just cook them over the open flame. Either way, I'm not too picky about it, but I'll definitely be trying to do that. Maybe, gather some more wild edibles for tea and stuff if I can find some rose hips. They're still edible even in the winter. They're actually better after they've been froze. Gather some of that stuff, and yeah, maybe look at doing a few more camp activities or making some tools, something like that. But I mean, really, it's more at this point just about enjoying myself. Unfortunately, you guys missed all the exciting stuff with the fire stand and stuff like that, but I'll see if I can come up with something else that'll help pass the time, or maybe throw some different ideas out there. So yeah, I'm just gonna tuck in here now for the night. Unfortunately, in the winter, it's long nights. The sun goes down quick. For me, it's even longer. You're used to having your family out here. Most of the wild camping and bushcraft stuff that I do with them. So with them not being here, particularly in the evenings, it definitely makes for for a longer night for sure. But with that being said, I still, enjoy my time out here, and it's always good to get out regardless and just spend some time in the bush. The stove's working absolutely perfectly. I've had it running all day. I haven't had any issues with it at all. The canvas is nice and cool. The heat baffle that I have, where it's actually going through the armhole in the Polish Lavvu, is cool to the touch. I can touch it and hold my hand on there, and there's no issues with that at all. It's just a beautiful temperature in here. Right now outside, I think it's only -8, which is bugger all. But the stove, I'm actually able to just bring it right down so that it's just barely putting out heat, but still burning quite nice inside. But it's got at a very comfortable temperature, which was something I was worried about when I come out here for these 2 days for this trip, is that the temperatures would just be too mild, and the stove would be way too hot in here that you wouldn't even be able to stand it. But I mean, it's a beautiful temperature in here right now. It's about ideal for what you'd want. I can turn it up a lot hotter if need be, but right now you definitely don't need it. Really happy with the Lavvu. This is my first winter camp with it, and it's going absolutely fantastic. It's an ideal shelter for one person, your kit, your gear. You don't need a whole bunch of stuff when you're just going for a couple days, right? So, yeah, can't complain at all. We'll continue to use it, I think, on trips and outings, and I don't see any reason why not to. I mean, it's a little bit heavy, but when you're using a sled to bring your stuff in, then weight's not a huge issue. It's more capacity. And yeah, so I mean, for everything here, fitting that sled beautifully, pulled it in, and yeah, no complaints so far. Get some more firewood for the old coffee going here. Using the Silky Bigboy. Fantastic saw. Again, the wood I'm using in the Lavvu is aspen. Doesn't spit and create a whole bunch of sparks and stuff like that. So it's good to use to protect your tents and stuff. I don't have a spark arrestor on this stove, so I'm going to choose the wood that has the least amount of probability of causing an issue. There's no worry about fire hazards right now, just protection of gear. It's the middle of winter, there's snow everywhere, everything's wet. Yeah, we'll get some coffee on the go. Good morning. It was a good night last night. Temperatures didn't drop too much, but it's considerably chillier again this morning, so I imagine that filming is going to be a chore. Threw some water on for coffee, just waiting for that to go, then get out there and figure out some activities for the day. It's a little bit chilly this morning. One thing I like to do is always have a fire going when I'm at camp. I realize it requires a lot of work, a lot of firewood. It's just something that I enjoy. Even if I just light it and then put a couple punky pieces on and let it smolder away all day, fire is definitely something I enjoy. When it's cool like this, it's definitely nice to have one. You can stop by, stoke it up, warm up whenever you want. It saves me using the heater all day in the tent today too, now that I know that it works. So to start it off, we're going to just process a bit of firewood. I'll be using the Silky again. Definitely my go-to saw. One of the better natural tinders you can use to start your fire is birch bark. You don't need to completely wring or strip the tree. You'll see it's got all these loose little bits of bark on it that can just be pulled off of there. Won't hurt the tree or damage it in any way. Excellent way to light a fire. For kindling, I like to use this dead, dry little spruce branches. They're absolutely bone dry. There's a lot of them. You know, there's a lot of dead trees in a forest, and honestly, it's easy to come by. One of the easiest tinders to find. Most of the time, if you go under big, heavy spruce trees like this, it'll be dry year round. The other thing to pay attention to is when you are out and about, pay attention to what's around you. There's two beautiful dead standing aspen trees there that'll work really well in the Lavvu. We went over this like 4 times about the sparks, but yeah, so it just goes to show when you're out there, look at what's around you. Even if it's not specifically what you're looking for, it's good to find it and take it when you see it. That's all there is to it. So, when I go out for my rabbit hunt, squirrel hunt today, the weapon I'm going to be using, the firearm, is a U.S. survival rifle by Henry. It all breaks down, fits right into the stock. It's an AR-7. It's a beautiful, fantastic little piece of kit that'll fit in pretty well any backpack that you own. You just pop the buttstock off. Inside, you'll have a receiver. Slide that out. Slide the barrel out. Replace the buttstock. The receiver slides right in. Underneath, there's a little screw. You just spin it in and it'll go into the receiver and tighten it all down. With that tight, you just pop your barrel on. You'll see here, there's a little divot that lines up with a slot in the end of the receiver. Just line those up. Slide down your barrel and tighten the locking ring. This particular style of rifle uses peep sights. I've put probably 200 rounds through this rifle with no problems. It's 22 LR, little magazines. Comes with 2 of them. Very functional, very easy to use, crazy light. My kids love this gun because it's so light. It just makes it so much accurate for them to shoot with, that not having to hold up such a amount of weight for any sustained time helps in any situation for sure. So yeah, that's one I'm going to use today. With any luck, we'll find ourselves a rabbit or a squirrel, and we'll be able to get something cooking up here. Other pieces of kit that I've got with me. The knife that I've been primarily using this trip is a khukri. This is quickly becoming my favorite knife. It's really robust. It's full tang, a full quarter-inch tang. It just chops like a hatchet. It's a heavier knife, so it does really, really well for the chopping. I was a little bit concerned about doing fine work with it, but I mean, you can choke so far up the blade and do your fine work here that it hasn't been an issue at all. I'm very, very pleased with it, and like I said, it's quickly becoming my go-to knife. The one concern I have with it is that the tang is rolled on the sides, so in order to use this with a fire steel or something like that, you're going to have to modify it. Get a good sharp 90-degree corner on there to work with your ferro rods. But yeah, loving the blade. Again, a Nepal Khukri, just a fantastic piece of kit. You'll be seeing this definitely in a lot of other videos. It also comes with two little blades, if you can see that. One is a little skinner, which I use for rabbits and squirrels, roughing up birch bark before I light a fire. Tiny, tiny little blade, but it's very, very useful for a lot of the small, finer tasks at camp. It also comes with one that is very similar, but this one's squared away at 90 degrees. I will be honest that I don't have much luck in getting it to strike a fire steel, but it works really well as just a normal steel to keep your Khukri, the edge on it, nice and fine-tuned. And that's more primarily the purpose of that one. So yeah, with those couple items looked at, I don't want to go greatly in depth with gear. I find a lot of people almost sound like they're promoting or selling or buy this knife, this one's the best, or get that, when really it's not about any of that. It doesn't matter what you carry or what you have. I've used knives from like wholesale stores that are surplus places. You know what? It all works. They might not be as efficient, but if that's what's in your budget and that's what you can get, that's what you're going to use. The cost of the stuff is really a non-point. What's important is getting out there, getting the experience, and using this stuff. I can't stress that enough. All it's about is getting out. It's not what you have, it's what you know. It's what you do when you're out there. Well, we should probably get going here on this hunt, see if we can't find some food. I know the dog's anxious to get going. She's been running around camp here all day, hasn't sat still for a second, so we're going to head out and see if we have any luck with that. Where is it? Find it. Well, I'm not so sure what she's so excited about. I don't see nothing, I don't hear nothing, but her senses are definitely better than mine. She thinks there's something there. Well, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it just started to snow and stuff here now. So that'll add a little bit of extra excitement to the trip. We're still walking around looking for stuff. Still no luck so far. Hopefully that'll change and we'll find something here. I just thought I'd let you guys know the snow started to kick up now. It always means more excitement. Definitely good times. Well guys, I'm back. We didn't have any luck that time. Went out for probably an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Never seen anything. Izzy got excited a couple times, but no avail. Hopefully we'll get one here a little bit later in the day. Come back to camp, just threw a couple more pieces of punk wood on the fire to keep it smoldering away, and I'll take a break here for a little bit. My energy levels are feeling a little bit low, but I'd like to go out and make a couple more good attempts today for sure. I'll keep you posted. Well, after a couple unsuccessful hunts, we're back to firewood for the Lavvu for the night. The job that never ends. Splits easier than it saws, that's for sure. A lot of people don't like this method, batoning. To me, I love it. It's just as fast as an axe. People can say it's not the right tool for the job if you're using a knife. I say get a better knife. This is a 1/4 inch tang, this Kirky. I couldn't hit this thing hard enough to break it if I wanted to. Does a very nice job with the firewood. And makes quick work of it. Yeah, so that's that. Well, the chores for today are done. Cut a whole bunch of firewood for the Lavvu and for the fire pit outside here. Took a good couple hours to process all that. Enough firewood for the night in the Lavvu and some for around the fire. Went on probably an hour and a half hunt this morning. Went a couple more times since then. I haven't seen anything. Haven't even heard a squirrel chitter, which is strange for this time of year. But yesterday, late afternoon, I heard a couple. I haven't heard nothing this morning. I don't know if that means a storm's moving in or what. But yeah, it started to snow earlier. It's all cleared up. It's a nice day. Turned really mild. It's supposed to drop down to about 14 tonight, minus 14 degrees Celsius. So that's why I stocked up on a lot more firewood. I'm not worried about that at this point. I cut an awful lot of firewood. I just drained without getting anything in the hunt this morning. Nothing to cook up. I'm feeling tired, drained, lazy. Just put on a bunch of snow to melt and restocking my water supplies. Then I guess for supper tonight, since we didn't get anything for lunch, I didn't eat, and I saved a pack of my dehydrated chili and a couple potatoes to go with it. So yeah, we'll be eating tonight. It would have been nice to get something for the hunt, but it just sometimes it doesn't work out that way. That's the way it goes when you go out and you wild camp or you hunt or fish. All of it's up to chance and variable, but it's the act of being out there that makes it fun. For now, I'm gonna just sit here, just enjoy what's around me and relax a little bit. I'll see if I can summon up some ambition a little bit later. I might go for another hunt. But yeah, it's pretty well been a day of chores. Not much fun to look at. Not much fun at all. Just gonna slice up, cube up a couple potatoes to have with supper tonight. The day is pretty well done at this point. It's getting dark, sun's going down. Just gonna cook some supper, maybe retire to the Lavvu early tonight. Hasn't been a very productive day, but sometimes they're like that. So yeah, just gonna work on getting some supper going here, and when that's ready, sit down and have a meal. Cut these up nice and small so they cook fast. Potatoes are done in the pot. Throw them on there to boil now. Getting a good boil on now. You can see the steam bubbling out of there and rising of the lid a little bit. You get a hot fire. Shouldn't be long and spuds will be done, and I can dehydrate some chili with the water left from the potatoes and we'll be good to go. Well, the supper's done. Got chili dehydrated, potatoes are in there. Looks fantastic, smells great, especially after not eating all day, so it'll definitely be a treat. I won't bore you guys with sitting there watching me eat for half an hour, but yeah, cheers. Well, that's all for tonight, folks. Pack up in the morning and walk on out of here. I'll try to get some footage of taking the camp down and loading up and going out, but I can't promise too much because it's supposed to be minus 14, and the only device that'll cooperate that cold is my phone, and I don't have a tripod for it, so I'll do the best that I can. See how it goes. Have a good night, folks. Well, it's morning time now. Had another good sleep last night. Stove worked well. Gonna just finish my coffee up here and then get to packing up and getting out of here. This is never the fun part, packing everything all up to go. That's got most of the gear cleaned out now. I just gotta put away my coffee stuff, take down the tent, and do up the bed. One of the really cool things about this stove that I made is that you can flip the whole bottom open and knock all the ash out. Just like that. Allows it to cool down way easier. Separates all your components. It works really well. Easy to snap back all together. That's all there is to it. Easy peasy. Sticks are coming out a lot easier than I thought they would. These Lavvus are an ideal setup for one person. They go up nice, they come down nice. A little bit heavy, but I mean, when you're pulling a sled, it's not that big of a deal. The Lavvu is actually a Polish military poncho tent. It's got two halves that are buttoned together, and they form a teepee style shelter for two occupants is what they're designed for, but I mean, if you get two people in there, you're going to be awful squish. I like to consider them a nice roomy one-man shelter, and it you know, gives you some room for some kit, some gear, a little wood stove. Like it it's very comfortable for one person. My height is about the absolute max that you can put in a Lavvu. Otherwise, you're going to be folded up like an accordion. Even as it was, my sleeping bag, I had a couple corners sticking out under the tent just because there was nowhere else for him to go. But yeah. Take everything home and dry it out. It was a great trip again. Thanks for coming along with me on this little adventure. I apologize that the footage and stuff wasn't the best, but thanks for coming along and seeing what it is I do. I'm gonna get to loading the sled up good and full now and heading out.